Dear students, this is my second lecture on digital electronics, and this is just the continuation part of my first lecture. In first lecture, I have described the different characteristics of a pulse, that is rise time, fall time, and pulse width. Now digital waveforms that are obtained in digital systems are called pulse trains. So basically there are two kind of pulse trains. That are found in digital systems. One comes under the category of periodic pulse waveform, and second is aperiodic pulse waveform. So periodic pulse waveform is one that repeats itself at a fixed interval. Say we have a pulse train of this kind. Here the one complete period takes time t1, and suppose if the second period takes time t2 and third period takes time t3, and if this period t1 equals to t2 equals to t3, then the pulse train is called periodic pulse train, and its a frequency f equals to 1 over t. Now the second kind of waveform, that is non-periodic or aperiodic, this kind of pulse train looks something like this. That what is the repetition time of a particular pulse is not fixed, or it cannot be pre-decided. So this kind of waveform is called non-periodic or aperiodic pulse train. Now the frequency of pulse or a digital waveform, which is the reciprocal of the period, and the relationship can be expressed by this. And another parameter to define is duty cycle. So basically the duty cycle is the ratio of pulse width. Suppose this is one of the time period of, say, this pulse p1, the time period is t1, and here the on time width is designated as tw, and total width is, say, it is given the name t. Then the duty cycle is the ratio of pulse width to the time period, and it can be expressed in percentage in this way. So we have to be very particular about digital waveforms, because most of the time circuit behaviors are represented in form of time waveform. So a very useful pulse train in digital circuit is called clock. and all waveforms in digital system, all waveforms are synchronized with basic time wave which is called clock. So in general, clock is a periodic waveform in which each interval between pulses equal the time of one bit. Suppose this waveform represents the clock of a certain digital circuit. This is 0 level of the clock, this is 1 level of the clock, and this is edge of the clock, rising edge, falling edge, then once again rising edge, and so on. This one time period is called bit time. This time interval is called bit time. And suppose any digital circuit which behaves or which gives its output with respect to this clock, suppose it is giving its output this way, in the latter part of our discussion we will come to know that which kind of circuit gives this kind of behavior. So it is a kind of circuit which changes its state on the occurrence of rising edge of on the occurrence of every rising edge of the clock. In future you will come to know which kind of circuit shows this behavior. So this is the example of clock waveform synchronized with waveform shown by some digital circuit. Now there is one very important diagram which very often we will discuss, is known as timing diagram. Suppose this is clock given to some subsystem, say this is a big system, big digital system, and there are some subsystems, say S1, S2, S3, and clock is given to each of the subsystems like this. Means this kind of digital circuit is known as synchronous digital circuit, in which the same clock is applied at the input of all the digital component. So suppose if this is the clock which we are applying over here, and suppose this is the output which we are getting over here, this represents Q1. Rather it would be better to say that Q2 changes its state on the occurrence of the rising edge of or falling edge of Q1, and Q3 this is Q1, Q2, and this is Q3. Q3 changes its state on the occurrence of falling edge of Q1. The circuit is so designed that it changes its state on the occurrence of this situation at the output. So this Q1 changes its state on the every rising edge of the clock, and Q2 changes its state on the occurrence of falling edge of Q1. So it changes its state over here, once again it changes its state over here, and similarly And if suppose Q3 I have designed a circuit which changes its state on the occurrence of falling edge of Q2, so naturally we will get this kind of interrelationship between the timing of different part of the circuit, and this interrelationship between timing, which is represented by a diagram, is known as timing diagram. Very often we will use this diagram to represent circuit behavior of digital circuits. Now I'll explain, or I'll give you the introduction of some basic logic operations, some fundamental logic operations. Basically, the logic circuit is one which is having many inputs. It can have one or more inputs, and it will have one output. I am taking this discussion only in respect of logic gate. So this output is 1 or 0 depending on certain condition at input. So we have different kind of fundamental logic operations. The very basic or very starting one is known as inverter. This is known as inverter, or this is also called NOT gate, not logical operation. What it does, it gives output Y which is complement of the input, means Y is always complement of X, means whenever X is 0, Y is obtained 1, or whenever X is 1, Y is obtained as 0. So this kind of circuit, X is the input, Y is the output, X is 0, Y is 1, X is 1, Y is 0. This is known as inverter. If we realize an inverter by simply a battery of say 5 volt and some switch say S, and say at the output we are connecting some small bulb so that it can glow if some output little amount of output voltage is obtained across it. So this switch S is simply an on-off switch. It makes a on situation if contact is made, and it makes a off situation if contact is broken. So if you see simply the status of switch and the status of output, if switch is not making any contact, if you imagine this to be an LED instead, this LED will glow. So this will show a situation like 1, and if we connect the switch, means make it 1, connection is equivalent to 1, then the LED is off, and this way output is 0. So this fundamental gate, how it can be designed using an electronic circuit, that I will discuss later on, but from now here it is sufficient to understand. It is a circuit which gives the sufficient explanation for this operation of NOT gate. And another operator is implemented which is known as AND operator. It is shown by this symbol, a logical symbol for AND operation. Basically, just for the simplicity, we take two inputs A and B and output say Y or F, whatever you say. So in AND gate, F equals to A dot B. Here dot is the AND operator. This is the operator of AND gate. So just to represent A and B are the input and F is the output. So what possible combination this A and B can take? It may take value 0 0. And just to understand its switch equivalent, suppose we have two switches A and B, and we have one LED connected at the output. So if suppose both the switches are open, it is equivalent to condition 0 0. Naturally this LED will not glow, there will be no supply of current, and this way LED will not glow, it will be 0. But suppose if one of the switch is open but other is closed, say B is closed, in this situation also the circuit is open circuit is not complete, therefore LED will not glow and you will obtain 0 at the output. And similarly, if one is closed and B is open, it will not glow. But if A and B both are 1 1, in this situation you will get that LED is glowing. So this is the basic operation performed by AND gate. Means the output of AND gate is high if and only if all the inputs are high. Suppose if we imagine about multi-input AND gates, this is not limited to two input only. Suppose we have many inputs A0, A1 ranging up to AN, and F is the output. So F equals to A0 dot A1 dot going this way up to AN, and F equals to 1 if and only if all the input variables they are 1. In any of the input variable, if it is equal to 0 and rest are 1, then this output will be 0. No matter if one of the input is 0, it is sufficient to make output 0. So this is the definition of an AND gate. An OR gate is, suppose just for the simplicity that it is a two input OR gate, A plus B, and F is the output. So F equals to A or B. This is not a plus symbol, this is not equivalent to binary addition, but this is an OR operator. There is difference between binary addition and Boolean addition. I will explain it later on as my lecture progresses. So this A or B shows its a behavior like this. Suppose we make a switching network which gives the equivalent of OR gate, an LED over here, say a 5 volt supply is connected this way. This is switch A, this is switch B, and this is F, the output. Now suppose if both the switches are open, then there is no way for current to flow in the circuit, and therefore output is 0. And if any of the switch is closed, say switch B is closed, then current gets its a way to flow in the circuit, and this way this LED glows and makes this output 1. And similar is the situation when 1 happens to be 1 and A happens to be 1 and B happens to be 0, and if both are 1, then in this situation also the output is 1. So what about the definition of OR gate? The output of OR gate is 1 if any one of the input is high. The output of OR gate is high if any one of the input is high. Means it is low only in the condition when all the inputs are low. Suppose we imagine an input OR gate, say A0, A1, going this way up to AN, or the input of this n input OR gate. So this is equal to A0 plus A1, going this way up to AN. So if any of the input of this OR gate is 1, and imagine rest other they are 0, the output will be equal to 1. One input suffice the output to become equal to 1. But to become 0, all the input must be equal to 0. Only in this situation the output is 0. This is the definition of OR gate. And any of the logical Boolean logical function or any of the circuitry can be constructed or can be realized using these basic logic gates, means AND gate, OR gate and NOT gate. Means if we have NOT gate, AND gate and OR gate, we can construct any of the logic circuit. But suppose if somebody tells you that okay, instead of having 3 different logic gates, I am giving you only one gate through which you can realize any of the logic circuit. So without any delay you will pick up this logic gate instead of these 3 logic gates to realize any digital logic circuit. So if one offers this kind of situation to you, that you can realize any logical circuit using either NAND gate or another gate in Q, is NOR gate. This is like if you get sick and doctor recommends you 3 medicines, and for the same sickness if one doctor recommends you only one medicine which will fulfill your job, naturally you will opt for one medicine at the place of these 3 medicines. So this is also done in the digital circuit, and this is beneficial at the end to reduce the circuit complexity, to reduce the cost and to enhance the overall performance of the digital circuit. So these 2 gates, therefore owing this property, they are called universal logic gate. So I will explain the operation of them one by one. This logic circuit is called NAND gate. To simplify the operation of NAND gate, we are taking only 2 input NAND gate. So this is nothing but a cascade of NOT gate and AND gate. So this is NOT AND operation. So naturally the F will be equal to not A dot B, that this is not AB. Therefore the naturally it will be the complement of the output of the AND gate. So it will have 4 possible input combinations. And what was the output of AND gate? It was all 0 and it was 1. Here it will be 1, the complement of AND gate, 1, 1, and it will be 0. So what observation we make from here? Okay, let me explain it by using a switching network also. Suppose we have 2 switches A and B connected in this way, in this circuitry, and this is one of the LED. What will happen if we make this, both the switches open? This LED will glow. If one of the switch is open, second is closed, no problem, current will find its path to flow over here and LED will glow. And if another switch is closed and first one is open, and in this situation also the current will find its path to flow through LED, and this way LED will glow and make the output 1. Now if both the switches are closed, then current will find an easier path to flow through this circuit, and this way the output will not appear, or output is false, or LED will not glow. So this kind of gate is called NAND gate. Now if we take the multi-input NAND gate, suppose we have n inputs, A0, A1 up to AN, then the output of NAND gate is 1 if any of the input, any means 1 of the input is 0. If more than 1 and 0, if more than 1 input are 0, it's well and good. But if any of the input is 0, the output of this NAND gate happens to be equal to 1. And this is the basic property of this NAND gate. Similarly, we can realize NOR gate. NOR gate is symbolically represented by a bubble followed by an OR gate. This bubble performs the inversion operation. So A, B, and the output is not of A plus B, not of A plus B. So naturally the truth table which will come out to be in two input situation. It will be the reverse of OR gate. If you recall the output of OR gate, in 0 0 situation it was 0, in 0 1 situation it was 1, in 1 0 situation it was 1, and in 1 1 situation it was 1. So it will be 1 and here it will be 0. And if you look at the switching equivalent of this circuit, this is LED, just to observe the output, 5 volt, This is, so say, switch A and this is switch B. Now if both the switches are open, okay, the current will flow in this path, flowing through the LED, and this way LED will glow. And if any of the switch is closed, current will get an easier path to flow this switching network, and output will this way be false, or LED will not glow. So if we talk about the multi-input NOR gate, it will be A0, A1 up to AN. The output is 0 if any of the input is 1. The output is low if any of the input is 1, and output is 1 if all the inputs are low. This is the definition of NOR gate, or behavior of NOR gate. Now there are two more gates which are used in arithmetic circuit. One of them is called exclusive OR gate. Whose output is, when input is 0 0, its output is 0, input is 0 1, its output is 1, input is 1 0, its output is 1, input is 1 1, its output is 0. So you see the difference between this and the truth table of this is XOR, output of XOR, and this is output of OR, 0 1 1 1. So why it is called exclusive OR gate? Exclusive OR gate, because this output situation is excluded for this logical gate, and this way it makes it fit for the realization of binary addition. So if we add two binary digits, later on you will study that if we add 1 1, the result is 0 and carry is 1. So just to realize this situation, this exclusive OR gate is fit. If we add 0 and 1, the result is 1 and carry is 0. So to realize this situation also, this situation is fit, and if we add 1 and 0, the result is 1 and carry is 0. So to realize this situation, this part of the truth table is fit, and if we add 0 with 0 in binary, the result is 0 and carry is 0. So this part is fit for this realization. So just to realize the sum part of 2-bit binary addition, we use this gate, which is exclusive OR gate. The complement of this exclusive OR gate is exclusive NOR gate. This is simply the inverted version of exclusive OR gate, which is known as exclusive NOR gate or X NOR gate. So it is just a complement of exclusive OR. A, B is the input and F is the output. So it is in these situations, it is 1 over here, 0 0 and 1 over here. And let me write down the operator of this exclusive OR gate. The two inputs A and B, this is an encircled plus to represent exclusive OR operation, and logically it is equal to A B bar plus A bar B. You can obtain this expression from here, A B bar and plus A bar B. We will see in detail what does it mean in our later part of the lectures. So this exclusive OR operator is represented by not A exclusive OR B, or sometimes it is also represented by A encircled dot B. So these are the logical gates That was my goal to describe in this lecture. In the next lecture I will come to describe the number system and the role of number system in digital system and conversion of one number system from other number systems. So few lectures will be devoted to explain the number systems. So thanks for viewing this lecture.